Alright, here's another throwback video from last year when we finally got around to getting our water sorted out. We got a well drilled here, and this is the first part of me getting the water installed into the building.
Standard issue, I would think, well cap. It's just got like you can undo these bolts, remove the top so you can access the pump inside, and then you have your little vents here, output for your electrical go out there, and then you got just three screws here, or bolts, to hold it on, and it seals with this big O-ring on the top. I'll tighten that down later, but just to keep the critters out for now, because I gotta still put the pump and everything in there anyway, so that should do. So I went and picked up this 3-point hitch mounted backhoe attachment this week or whatever, and it showed up, so brought that home with the trailer and just unloaded it here. First we'll get it unpacked and see what we're looking at.
Alright, so we're unpacking this Chinese backhoe here for the tractor. I think a backhoe is kind of like an essential tool that I'm going to need for a lot of years until I can get an excavator. But it allows me to dig trenches, dig holes, do whatever I gotta do, break the earth. Maybe stumps and stuff if I really had to. But you can't really go wrong if you're just like a part-timer with this type of stuff, to get one of these off-brand units or whatever. They're significantly cheaper, and for the amount that someone like me will use them, I think that it's a pretty good deal. This one definitely, it had some issues with it too, as has been with all the attachments I've bought like this, but we figured it out eventually with some headaches, and it seems to work okay now. So got the pin there just to lock the boom in the straight position when you're traveling. Got it all put together there. It seemed good enough build quality, and then figured it out because like I said, I had some issues with it. So we're gonna break some earth here right next to our well. This well had sat around for a couple months. I got a little jet pump that I used there. The well driller wanted me to pump water for at least I think he said 12 hours straight, just to clean all the silt and everything out. And at the time, I wasn't sure. There was low stock for the deep well pump that I wanted, and all the people I had contacted, different stores and that, no one had the model that I wanted, so I was gonna run this jet pump.
So close. We're at just at 6 feet to the ground level. So I'm just going to scrape out the bottom a little more so I can get that pitless right down at 6 feet.
Yeah, the reason for the 6 feet is because the frost level where I live here in BC is 6 feet, so we need to get down below the frost. Needless to say, I use the jet pump mainly just to clean the silt out of the well and give it a good running, and then I eventually did find someone who was able to get me the deep well pump that I wanted there. So it all ended up working out eventually. It's just at the time didn't seem like it was going to. And this summer here, which was, well, I guess this is to the fall, but this was actually 2023, I believe. So actually, I guess it was 2 years ago. But the plan was to try to move in this winter that I was doing all the work here, and it just didn't end up that way. You know, things happened, and we couldn't get everything lined up. But my thoughts at this time was getting the water was one of the number one things. If I had water in the building, that's a huge step forward for us to actually be able to move out there, because you know, water's pretty essential. You can see in the back there I've got a black cistern water tank. It's all kind of broken on the top there. That was our original plan, was because we couldn't get a well drilled during COVID, there was no pipe available. Our plan was just to have water delivered out, and then we would use that jet pump that I had to feed the house for the time being. But not an ideal scenario, and realistically I wanted the well for sure, but we managed to come through and find somebody who was able to drill us a well, and so I went ahead, got that backhoe, and yeah, we got it hooked up, get some fuel in there. This is my fuel setup. Don't know if I showed. It's just I use the Anderson plug connectors that I've hooked up to my tractor, so I can use for jumper cables or the tidy tank there, whatever. Just easier than making a ton of trips into town with jerry cans, so get that all figured out. But yeah, anyways, that cistern there, I was under the assumption that you could leave them stored outside. I'd seen them stored outside many places, and I was going to put it into a little insulated building when we were using it, and then that would have been, you know, our temporary solution. But having it stored outside, the winter prior, the snow and maybe the extreme cold temperatures caused the plastic to get brittle, and then you know, a little bit of snow weight on top, it collapsed on us. So we had no cistern. So that was $3,000 well spent there for 2,500 gallon tank. But yeah, so anyways, we got over that. We figured it out. And luckily for us, our well was only 95 feet deep, so it wasn't super expensive to drill that, because the price of drilling the well had gone up about 60 to 70% after COVID. So our original quote that we had didn't line up very nicely either. But you know, as slow as the backhoe is compared to an excavator, the fact that it was, you know, 1/10 of the price can still really do the job. It just takes a little longer. I'd say it was well worth it. So switched over here to cutting a little bit next to the building, where it's going to have to go underneath the edge of the foundation there to go up into the building. So I figured it's easier to dig while we're able to park the tractor in between the two trenches.
Continue. Pitless adapter. So, this portion here is going to be installed with the pipe in there, and then there's the gasket on the inside and the outside, and the nut to tighten it, and then you can thread your water pipe in there, and then on the inside you have your little machine surface here with the slot, and then this piece gets attached to your deep well pump downward, and then when you go to put the pump in, you just slide this in like so, and it bottoms out like so, and then now you're below the frost line where the water comes out of the well, so you don't have to worry about freezing. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to drill a pilot hole first in the pipe, and then I'm going to drill with the hole saw the hole we need for this adapter.
Okay, so anyways, we needed to get closer to the pipe at the bottom there. I tried it with a shovel, just wasn't really doing it, so I scraped a little more here. I had to be careful not to take away too much because the lighter material that you'll see close to the pipe, I believe that's bentonite clay. They use it as a surface sealer, so as he's drilling the well, he pours the clay in at the top, and as the pipes get put down, the clay kind of works its way down and seals around the top of the pipe, so you're not getting surface water working its way down into where you're pulling water from within the water table. So I made sure to collect that, and then when I had filled it later on, I put the bentonite clay back close to the pipe there to try to keep that seal that we were trying to achieve.
Down the hole, got a little spot.
So yeah, just cleaned a little spot there,
right there,
and then drilled a pilot hole with the drill there, with the drill bit size same as the pilot or center drill for the hole saw that I was going to use. And then I just make sure to keep the drill bit and then the hole saw as well well lubricated for cutting, so that I didn't dull out my bits, because I didn't want to have to make more trips into town to try to buy drill bits there.
All right, step one. A little bit of shavings never killed no one, right?
Yeah, so it's just a bimetal hole saw that I'm using here, and it worked totally fine there. You had a even pressure, nice slow speed, make sure it's well lubricated, and then a little bit of rocking back and forth at the end to just get through. And then when I felt that it was starting to grab is when I didn't want that piece to fall in there and start rusting around in the bottom, so I a little bit slower, and I thought it was pretty close, and I just pulled it out with the other drill bit there. Alright, and then just to make sure that my rubber seals and threads on the pitless adapter and all that wouldn't get damaged, took a file, spent some time here, and cleaned all the edges up real nice and smooth, and and then I gave the surfaces inside and out a real good wipe there, just with a clean paper towel.
This is what we're gonna use here to stop the pipe from falling down in the well. Safety. Oh God. Could you bring the pitless over here, please? Okay. So on the pitless adapter, this is the piece that needs to go into the well. And right now we need to get this piece down there. So what we're gonna do, actually what would be nice is to throw some pipe or something in there so that it doesn't come apart. You know what, I'm gonna go find something. Here's what I devised. I got my spark plug socket here that is deep enough, and I just ran some electrical tape on there, and it will dig into the threads. Not super tight, but it's tight enough that it's not going to slip out. And then it runs in there. Now our adapter is fixed together, it can't come apart, and then now I can take that apart once we're in there. So when you put this down, obviously you need to have this piece be able to come up out of the well so you can remove the well pump. And you can see that the one side here is connected through, so that's where you want your water to come up and through and out the pipe. This side is a dead hole, so that's the side that we need to attach to our installer pipe. So installed. Now we're gonna put that down in there and fish this into the hole. Make sure we have only the interior washer on it. So you just need this washer here is gonna seal on the inside of the pipe. So that's what we're gonna do. You did it. It's there. Look at you go. This washer here just snapped right, and then the gasket and then the washer fit together like that, and they have the curvature to go around the pipe. So this goes on this way. So, the washer goes on, and then the nut is machined on this side, not on that side, so the machine side goes down. Should be able to let go of that pipe for now. It's not going anywhere. Okay, now I need to tighten that down. Big wrench. That's pretty small. See how it's hanging on the pipe nicely. That should be good there. Now I'm going to start adding all my fittings on there now. Okay, so when I had the jet pump on there, I had bought 1.25 inch of the poly pipe there to run the deep well conversion. And since I don't want to spend more money on another pipe, I'm just going to use that 1.25 inch pipe and run that one to the building. And then I'm going to use the 1 inch pipe to run down in the well, because that's the size of pipe that the well pump accepts. So anyways, I still have all these fittings. I bought some more fittings. And because my pitless adapter was made for a 1 inch, it's got a 1 inch female thread. I've got this 1 inch nipple, and then I have a reducer bushing, and then a coupling so that I can put the hose barb on there, and this will be what comes out. So now I need to seal all of these threads before I get down there, so I'm just gonna move everything up here, and then I'll bring it down there and I'll install it and then tighten it up once it's down there. Yeah, it looks kind of funny, but that's what it's going to be. And then I'll get down there in the hole now, put the pipe wrench on there, and I'll tighten this up to that pitless adapter.
everything looks nice and threaded together there. One more just for good measure. Okay, now I need to dig out the mess that I made in here. There's a bunch of dirt now I got here, and then I got to attach the poly pipe to that, and then I can burger everything again. So I'm gonna go get the poly pipe, and well, actually, you know, I'll shovel the dirt out here first, then I'll get the poly pipe. They always say you're supposed to heat these pipes up before you stick them on here, but I like to struggle. Apparently there's a bunch of water left in this pipe. I did it. Can you pass me down my screwdriver? So I'm gonna leave this unburied for now, and I'm gonna go put the well pump in now, and then we'll see. Make sure there's no leaks. I mean, I don't think there will be, but you never know. Okay, so we got our 1-inch pipe here now. We're gonna get ready to put the pump on here. Square this pipe off a little bit first. A little more square that way. Pipe off to the side for now. This is our pump that we got here, and this is a Grundfos, what is it, 5 gallons per minute, which is what our well produces. So it's sized for our well. This is a 2-wire unit, I believe they call it. So it runs on just your 2. I mean, there's 3 wires, but one's the ground. Yeah, it's a single phase, 110 volt pump, and this one's got like soft start in it and stuff. So it's supposed to be like a nicer pump or whatever, anyways, right? But yeah, so with the soft start, you don't really have to worry about we don't have to put an arrestor on the pipe there to prevent the torquing of the motor from banging this thing around in the bottom. And our well is 95 feet deep, and we are going to be putting this pump down at 89 to 90 feet down. That way we get a little bit ahead of water above the pump for drawdown in case we have high water loads. This pump will technically, because it's actually meant for a deeper depth than our well is, when we did the math on it, it worked out to it'll do 8 GPM at the depth that we're going to have it at. So the drawdown and all that, it'll be fine. It's got safeties in it for shutoffs and stuff, so it won't run dry and everything. So anyways, when I bought this pump, they said that it had a 1-inch connection, which it does, but they actually have a little, like a bush here that you could run 1.25 inches if you wanted to. But for our water demands here on this pump, we'll be fine with the 1-inch line. Nice even coating on the pipe sealant here on both threaded surfaces. I believe these pumps have a check valve built into them, so I'm not actually going to install a check valve at the pump here, but one at the top of the well instead, right at the pitless adapter.
You got 2 flat spots on the pump here, so that you can hold it. Okay, that's in there nice and tight. Oh god, I don't know. I don't think 3 clamps is going to do anything for us. I'm just going to put 2 on. Okay. Clamps on first. Somebody said that you're supposed to put these opposite. I don't know if it matters. Let's see if we can get just a tight one. Okay, good enough. If I was a smart man, I would have remembered to bring the torch, but I'm not, so I gotta struggle in life, and this is just my life, so. There's probably some kind of a torque that you need for that, but okay, now next step, we need to extend these wires out here. So we got this well wire. This is a waterproof. This is supposedly meant for wells too. So the biggest difference with these is, I mean, I guess the casings are good and waterproof here, but the wire is actually stranded, not solid. It allows for a little bit more movement. It's something I forgot about. When you do this, you're supposed to offset your splices. So splice this wire here, one in the middle, and then one over here kind of thing, so that they're not all bunched up like this. Anyways, I forgot to do that. I read it on the internet anyways, but so I just add a little extra electrical tape on 2 of the wires here, so that if it tries to wear through, we're good. And then I wrapped it on both sides. I might actually put 1 more wrap right in the middle here, just to give it an extra wear surface if it rubs on anything.
I can do this one.
Okay, we're at the end of the pipe now. What we're going to do is we're gonna put together our rigging for the top. We have our Pitless adapter inside the well piece. We have a nipple, we have a check valve, and then the barb fitting here. So this is the way they're all going to go together. Making sure that the end of the Pitless adapter that has the hole that goes through is going towards the pump. This is our threaded portion for installing it. So that's how everything's going to sit.
Mommy, that's so small for my sister and me. Look at that.
When you put these together, you got to make sure that you point the check valve in the right direction. There's an arrow on it saying that it flowed that way, right? And then I just double checked it on the inside as well. So this is the unit now. I'm just going to tighten this all together, as well as get as much pipe dope on me as possible. Okay. Put a little bit more electrical tape over top of these, just so that if any chance the electrical cables are there, potentially rubbing on those fittings or those clamps, that it's not gonna tear it open. Now it's time to put this into the well. Now I am going to drop the pump in. Now that we've got the wire and everything attached, Pitless adapter and such, and I'm going to feed it in down nice and slow, and then we're going to see how that goes. It should be easier this time because I don't have all the weight of the water in the pipe. Ready? See if I can get it now. Okay, it's in. Before I get too carried away, I'm gonna hook this pump up to the wire here, or the wire up to electricity here, just quickly, and I'm gonna pump some water out and see if everything works. I would have liked to tested the pump above ground, but I don't really have access to water that easily just yet, so we're just gonna do it like this, and then if it doesn't work, I'll have to yank it back out, figure it out from there. But yeah, so let's get this figured. So what I'm just gonna do for now, I'm just gonna take my wire here on the end. And I just got one of these whatever they're, plugs or whatever, male plug, and I'm gonna stick that on there so I can just plug it into some power and see how it works. So do that now. Plugged into there, gave it some power. I just had the other hose just sitting here. I can hear the pump running inside the well. So now, I'm gonna come check out the other end of the pipe here. Oh, would you look at that? Everything works. Nice clean water.